2,000 years ago, in a dusty corner of the Roman Empire, in a land called Judea, a child was born who would change the world. His name was Jesus. But he wasn't born into a palace or a place of power. No, Jesus was born in a stable, to a young woman named Mary and her husband Joseph. Humble people, living humble lives. From the start, his life was different. Angels announced his birth to shepherds. Wise men traveled from far-off lands to see him. They believed this child was special, sent by God for a purpose. We don't know much about Jesus as a child, but we do know that he grew up in the small town of Nazareth, helping his father Joseph as a carpenter. He learned, he prayed, and he waited. And when the time was right, when he was about 30 years old, he stepped out into the world to begin his mission. It began at the Jordan River, where a prophet named John was baptizing people, calling them to turn back to God. Jesus came to be baptized too, not because he needed to, but to show us the way. As he came out from beneath the water, something incredible happened. The sky opened and a voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, whom I love. I'm pleased with him. Hear ye him." After that, Jesus went into the wilderness, alone. For 40 days, he fasted, prayed, and was tempted by the devil. Tempted to use power for selfish reasons, tempted to take shortcuts. But he resisted, he stayed faithful, and when he returned, he began teaching. Not in temples or courts, but on hillsides and in fishing boats, in towns and villages. He told stories, parables, that made people think. He said things like, "Love your enemies, blessed are the peacemakers, and do to others what you want them to do to you." He didn't teach rules. He taught about hearts, about kindness, mercy, and truth. But Jesus didn't just speak. He healed. The blind saw, the lame walked, the sick were restored. People were amazed, but not everyone was happy. Religious leaders, powerful men, felt threatened. Jesus didn't follow their traditions. He challenged their pride. He called out hypocrisy. And still, the crowds followed him. One day, he rode into Jerusalem, the capital, on a donkey. The people cheered, waving palm branches, shouting, "Hosanna! Hosanna in the highest! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." But behind the celebration, danger was growing. He went straight to the temple and cleared it out, driving out the money changers. He said, You've turned my father's house into a marketplace." This was the final straw. The leaders began to plan his death. Jesus knew what was coming. So, on the night before his arrest, he gathered his disciples for one last meal. He broke bread, saying, "This is my body, given for you." He shared wine, saying, "This is my blood, poured out for the forgiveness of sins." He was showing them that something deeper was about to happen. That night, one of his disciples, Judas, betrayed him. Jesus was arrested, beaten, and put on trial. The people who once cheered for him now shouted, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" The Roman governor, Pilate, gave in. They took Jesus outside the city and nailed him to a wooden cross. He was innocent, but he chose to suffer for love. Hanging there, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing." And then, he died. The sky turned dark. The earth trembled. It felt like hope had died with him. His friends buried him in a tomb. They were heartbroken. But that wasn't the end. "3 days later, the tomb was empty. Jesus had risen. Alive. Death couldn't hold him. He appeared to his friends, ate with them, spoke with them, and told them to go and share this good news of his resurrection to the whole world. Jesus didn't come to start a religion. He came to show us what God is really like, full of compassion, grace, and truth. He came to rescue, to forgive, to heal, and to give us hope that even in the darkest times, light wins. Today, billions follow him, not because of force or fear, but because of love. The story of Jesus of Nazareth is more than history, it's an invitation to live with purpose, to love without limits, and to believe that no matter who you are, you matter to God. The story continues.